Hi everyone, it's Aisha Tuamore, and welcome to the Making Your Own series, where I speak to women who are spearheading themselves in their lives and living their lives the way they want to and creating it in their own way. Now, today I've got with me Carla Zuill, who is a fellow cohort member of the Freelance Her 100 program, which is a business accelerator program supporting women in tech, media, creative, and digital spaces to start up a business or scale up a business, test out new ideas, and really provide all round support to help maximize the opportunity for success. And I'm really excited to have Carla here because she's from Bermuda, which is so awesome. Like I'm just loving meeting all these high quality, high impact women who are doing like things that I could just dream of in my mind. So this is mega inspiring. It's so lovely to meet you today, Carla.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesomeness. So I'm gonna kick it off with a please tell us about yourself. What do you do? You are from Bermuda. Like what let us know about you.
So, contrary to I get it like at least 10 times a week, I am not an American. I am British. I am just not born in the UK, but I am from Bermuda, which is a British colony. Lived over here in Manchester for just over 4 years now. And I'm currently the founding editor of shehub.tv, which basically is a website dedicated to, as I say, all things women and everyone who loves us. So
Yes.
She was birthed in 2018. I had a online news agency, todayinbermuda.com, and I just got tired of chasing the everyday news. And then moving to the UK made it hard because of the time difference. And I never slept because Bermuda's 4 hours behind.
Wow.
And I had some great moments still doing news from Bermuda, from the UK. I'm doing Bermuda based news from the UK, but my site got hacked and I was really despondent over that. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And my tech guy said to me, the site's up and running. And I said, keep it down. And then I went home because I have this annual Women's Empowerment Summit. And I went home to have the summit and I was at a very emotional low. And I said to my business manager, I don't want to do this anymore. And she said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I
Wow.
touch women's lives. I want to do something that's centered around women, but I still want to write. And by then I had put my pen down for a while, at least 6 months.
Mm.
And She Hub was born. So the rest is
Wow.
history.
Wow, that is such a. I like how you condense like really intense stuff. I feel like a lot of stuff happened in there. You were like, yeah, this kind of happened and that kind of happened. And then She Hub is here, and I have like 100 million videos. Like, there's so much content on there, and it's such fantastic, like empowering content that I don't even understand how you built that just from 2018. I'm surprised to hear it's only been going that long.
You know what? I have to say thank you. And it also highlights one of my deficits because I don't celebrate myself.
Mm.
And people often say, wow, how do you do this? And I'm just like, I just do. Um, but, and all of that emanates from pain and trauma, to be quite honest.
Wow.
Um, from having to navigate through the pain. I'm a mom of three, and my
Mm.
children range from my oldest is 20 and my youngest is 11. And it's interesting, I'm hesitating to call myself a single mom because that was my narrative for so long. Yes, I am a single mom, but I realized
Mm.
that it was actually causing me to victimize myself to a certain level. And I
Oh,
didn't want
so
to do
that.
that anymore. And so
Mm.
I changed my narrative. So I'm simply a mom, a very
Mm-hmm.
committed mom of three children. But
Yeah.
what I realized is that in that survival mode, I just had to do what I had to do. And I think that's
Mm.
why I still struggle now with celebrating accomplishments because
Yeah.
I just was numb for so long. And but that's the power of Shehab as well, because women gravitate to me. And I've
Mm.
had women share testimony, share secrets, share accomplishments. And they've never, I mean, as a journalist, I'm a trained journalist now,
Yeah.
over 20 years. The integrity is keeping secrets, so
Yeah.
if you tell me something, I respect it, I don't judge,
Mm,
I hold it close, and She-Hub is just taken off from there. So I'm thankful that I've turned something negative into
mm.
something powerful and positive.
It's such a credit to yourself, and I think it's you come across so confident when I've spoken to you previously. You come across so confident from the things that I have seen by you. You come across quite articulate. You know what it is that you're talking about, and you speak so earnestly. And I think it's amazing that even with all that information that you have, you as an individual struggle to celebrate yourself, because perhaps before you'd felt like, oh, there's nothing to celebrate. I'm a victim of this, and that narrative has somehow like colored even all these incredible, like so obviously incredible accomplishments that you've made. And I've seen that with women as well. I've seen that with women in general, but in your particular case, where there are a lot of things that have layered on to create this identity, it can be it can be a challenge to enjoy it. But I really hope you keep practicing celebrating yourself.
I'm trying, like, I just so I had this midlife crisis. I'll be 47 in a few weeks, and
What? Okay, I'm gonna be quiet about that. I'm just gonna like quietly scream over here
no one
and
believes
cover
me.
my little face up.
But I had this midlife crisis type of thing, and I decided I wanted to go to law school, right? And I graduated from
Okay.
UP in 1998. So I was like, okay. And I've always been intelligent, but I've never been structured. So anyone that
Okay.
knows me, I just don't like structure in any way, shape, or form. And the thought of reading all those books drove me insane. But I was like, you know what? I had a really bad bout of depression in
Mm,
2017 into 18. And I was like, I want to shift. So I applied to law school, got
wow.
in, and paid the £200 to apply, and then said, I'm not coming. And I think for me, it was like, I just wanted to know if I could get in, right? So I said, I'll come next year. And then 2019 rolled around, and I decided in July that I wanted to do a master's degree instead. So my undergraduate degree is in journalism.
Mm,
Um, but I do a lot of freelance PR work. So I was like, let me get a master's in international journalism. So we do an orientation at University of Salford. And I was like, no, what am I thinking? I don't want to be a roving reporter. Like, I'm too old for this, right? I don't have the energy. And
I'm
my
not
children,
into
in
it.
the grand scheme, they're still young. And so
Mm,
I'm boasty. So I went over to the this lady. She just caught my eye, and I was like, "Are you the PR lady?" She said, "Yes." I was like, "Can I join your program instead?" And this is in orientation, but I'm just built like that. And we switched, and it was the best experience ever. So
oh
I
wow.
completed my master's in PR just this past September, but we're yet to officially graduate.
Well done.
So thank you. So I'm waiting. Corona has, affected all of us in some way. So although the degree will probably be about a year before I walk in that cap and gown, but I am walking down that damn aisle.
Nice,
So,
nice.
but even with that, everyone's like, you just that with children and working and building a business. And I'm just
Mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm.
I just had to do it. So I'm learning
Yeah.
to celebrate, you
And that's
know,
so important. That's so important. And I
it
see,
really is. So
yeah, and I see, like, I know I was making a comment on your shirt before, and you're talking about affirmations. And I think that's a mini step in the right direction, isn't it? Black Girl Magic, celebrating that on a daily basis.
I, I have to be transparent. I struggle with that in the UK.
Okay.
Bermuda is a predominantly Black country. And
Mm.
I knew that the UK, there was not a majority. However,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize in some spaces that being Black could make
Mm.
you an overwhelming minority. So
Yeah,
I had to adjust to that. And to be
all
fair,
time.
it's been an awesome experience. I mean, I've had to dabble. I've had to encounter some racism. My son,
Mm.
actually, my youngest son, was featured on a piece with BBC
Okay.
last January. But overall, I've met some beautiful, beautiful non-Black people. But
Mm.
I love my chocolate skin. I love my Black people. Um,
Yes.
and I don't shirk from that. I
Absolutely.
love the non-whites who have come into my life just as much.
Mm.
But I wear my Blackness with pride,
Yeah.
unapologetically.
And it's the way, it's absolutely the way to be. Like last year was, I think, like was fundamental. It's so many people from racialized communities, even in general, for so many reasons, so many reasons. But I definitely got I'd say, had I, if I could describe myself as being sort of like shy about discussing things in 2019, 2020, I got so bold. Like I was just not coming here for any foolishness. And I wasn't willing to assimilate as I had myself had done previously. And talking on that topic, that was part of my appeal to join this program, because part of the communication that they were very clear about, oh, we want members of racialized communities, we really want them to be represented. And even though in general in the UK you'll never have a program advertised saying, oh, racialized communities need not apply, they'll never say it, but it's insinuated in the communication, it's insinuated in the requirements, it's insinuated in the people who are promoting it. And so for them to be willing to add that extra step, I saw as like a step in the right direction. And there was a tiny part of me that was like testing it to be like, let's see how many Black people actually joined this program.
Listen, I thought it was just me. Because I love, let me say this, and they didn't pay me to say this. I love this program, right?
Mm, mm,
Um, when I saw the ad the first time, I think I saw it once on Facebook, and it was like, that they were looking for BAME women. And
mm,
then I had opened it, I looked through it, and I was like, I'll see. But then I saw it on Twitter, and it was like it was
mm,
calling me, right? And so the first day
mm.
when we had the like the orientation as such, I was counting what I call the chocolate faces, and I was like, one,
Yeah.
maybe two, three, maybe so five or six. But
Yeah.
and I actually did ask Naomi, shout out to Naomi, I absolutely love
Yeah. Big up
her.
Naomi.
And I was like, oh, I thought this was, to BAM, and she explained it, but I love that program. We're in week
Mm,
4 now.
mm.
And the people that we're meeting, I love my mentor group. I call them my sisters.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of British friends in the UK because I've
Mm,
always been home based, right? And
mm.
so this has afforded me the opportunity to just meet other women, regardless
Yeah.
of where they're from. But I love,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait until we're on week 12. I
Yes.
absolutely love this program.
Yeah. Like I think what I've seen so far, and I think it's a testament to making sure you weed out certain things from your life by putting boundaries in place early on. And I think because of the way they had set up the application process, you had to have a business you were running, you had to have an idea of what it is that you wanted to achieve. And because you had to have that much determination in order to just apply, even though it's like a funded program, you already got rid of certain people who perhaps were not at the stage that may make this program more effective in their lives. And so the people you've ended up with, the pool of women that you're with, are a pool of women who are determined, are a pool of women who are proactive, who are ambitious, who, even though they have hesitance, they still move forward with their fear, and they're like doing all these things that women allegedly don't really do, like all the time. They're doing all these things that, what, like, you are so gonna have your own network. You are so gonna be in those spaces. And I can see that and I can feel that. And that doesn't seem like some ambitious, like, twirling your hair dream. That's something that I can feel it from you, that you're gonna work towards that and you're gonna get there. And seeing that in you is energizing and encouraging to me as an
Oh,
individual.
thanks. And in my mentoring group, we had I don't know what you do in yours, but in our group, with Sarah Townsend, who I swear I have a woman crush on her. I just think that is like just the
Oh, big up
bomb.com.
Sarah.
And she one day last week she was like, does anyone have any questions or comments? And I was like, how do we balance, like, and I was asking the ladies with parenting, and most of us in the group have children. A couple didn't, but still was able to offer, and it gave another insight that regardless of where we're from, what's our economic background, ethnicity, whatever, we as women have so much in common.
Yes.
And it was like, wow, I didn't, we all may think sometimes in our respective lives that our
Mm,
lives are heavy or we may have certain issues. And we realize that we have a lot more in common than we ever thought, you
yeah.
know? So that's what I really love about my mentoring group is like,
Mm,
we're just so open, and I I can't give this program enough accolades because it's almost like a rebirth for me. Because even with She Hub,
oh, that's
um,
fantastic.
I'm taking it on another level. So
Mm,
I have always wanted. It's been my dream for a while to have my own magazine, and I've
mm,
helped people develop magazines. I've edited magazine as a
yeah.
consultant, and I was like, you're building everyone else's dream. Why won't you build your own? And
Mm,
so next month, She Hub is actually releasing as a magazine. So I'm still going to have the website, and the website and the magazine are going to be different though. Same brand, but the
mm,
website will still remain focused on women. But the
mm-hmm.
magazine, it's quarterly and it's going to be a different focus every edition. So our
Okay.
first one is sex, love, relationships, lots of
Oh.
stuff in there. But even the one in the short time that we've been in the program gave me an epiphany.
Mm,
And I had been mulling it, but it really came to life. And one of the things that I want to do is to make a difference in the UK market as well. Because
okay.
to me, there are never enough resources for melanated people. And
Yeah.
so I'm not even saying tentatively, what I'm going to
Mm,
do is create a brand in the UK to which
mm.
you'll see it on bookshelves,
Yes.
you see it in shops, and then it's also digital and an
Yes.
app. So again, I was like, how am I going to do this? I don't know anyone. And this
Mm.
program has helped me. I wouldn't be talking to you if it
I know,
wasn't for
like,
it.
what are the chances of me ever meeting you? I'll need to like find somehow, maybe I would have come across you online and I would have thought you were so far away from someone I could speak to. Maybe I'll have to find you at a networking event. And this has just created like a beautiful like envelope of awesomeness and safety where you can engage in depth. You can actually engage with people in real depth really quickly because it's like a baseline level of trust that we all have with our intentions towards each other. And I think that that safety is something that a lot of people perhaps don't take advantage enough of, or maybe they don't even realize you could have that kind of space and have that kind of connection with people. So like it's so great. I'm so happy for you that 4 weeks in, you've already had like big epiphanies like that have come through.
It has. It's been, and everything is just changing. Like I got my first proof yesterday. And
Ooh.
it's so weird because I tend to do business with people that live on the East Coast. So they're
Mm,
4 or 5 hours behind us. And I
mm,
saw that an email had come through at 2:30 in the morning, and it
right.
was 7:30. And she's like, here's the first proof of the magazine. And do you know, I laid there for maybe 2 hours before I was got up enough to open it.
Really?
Like, yeah, because things are getting real.
I
And I,
know.
I opened it and I was like, Carla, you did this. You did this.
Wow.
So next step is I'm working on the app and everything because I want it to be accessible
Mm,
regardless of where you are. So if you can't get a hard copy, you can go
yeah.
on the app and purchase in subscriptions web-based. So it's
Yeah.
like I almost feel at 47, it's a rebirth. And I tell people, this
Oh,
is my fourth
wow.
baby. Like, she have met me. Here it
That is
comes.
intense work. I don't think people can really comprehend the level of commitment required to create a magazine. Like, I don't think it can really be contextualized with someone who is not in it.
The creativity, and then that's not like I'm looking for freelancers. So,
Yeah.
looking for writers because, and I have to give props to my daughter because she's so unlike me. So she wants to be an
Right.
accountant. How boring. But she wants to do all that business stuff. But hey, we'll build it to the empire. And I had 5 stories to write in 24 hours. And I was like, how am I going to do this? And I tend to record in Zoom so that for accuracy, and then I pull, the audio
Yeah.
and transcribe. So I sent her one. I said, look, I need you to help me do this because I have to meet this deadline in order to make press.
Right.
And I sent her these 5 audios, and she turned them around in about 12 hours.
What?
And as she sent them to me, and she transcribed them so well that it was easy for me to create the stories. And I didn't write all of the
Wow.
stories, but I've written about 8 or 9 in the magazine.
Oh,
And
wow.
if it was not for her, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But that's another thing that's important to me is legacy. So although she
Yeah.
wants to become an accountant, I want to leave a mark for my children. I want my
Yes.
grandchildren to be able to, God knows what they'll have in 50 years. We have Google now, but it'll be some shenanigans. And be able to look up, as I tell them, I'll be known as Nana Sexy. And they look up
Nice.
Nana and they're like, wow, she did that. So
Yes.
for me, it's not just about the now, but it's
Mm.
about what legacy am I creating for my children?
Yeah.
That's huge for me.
It's really, I think it's so important to be clear on your mission in life. I feel as though a lot of the stress that we see in people in this world is like not knowing your place and not knowing your sort of like mission in life, which can feel like a very big thing. And to be honest, the thing that you do is going to be big to someone, no matter what scale you think it is. Like, it's something really special to someone. And the fact that you know within you that, okay, I want to create this that helps people. I want to help people of color in this particular space. But I also want to ensure that the next generation see me and they see something that they believe is worthwhile. I know is inspiring. I know I've created something that also gives them purpose. Because it's like, Nana set the bar high. Nana Saxy set the bar high. You can't come here with
The fact
silliness.
that you just repeated that back to me, that's hilarious. But yeah, and see, that's my other brand is the Women's Empowerment Summit. So when I was leaving Bermuda in 2016, I was like, you know what, I need to make as much money as I can, because I had to come out here and adapt to life. And I said, I'm going to have this summit. So I created the summit, had speakers and all of that, set it up. It was awesome. And I was like, okay, 300 women are going to come. And only about 80 did. And it was this big empty space, but the effect was so powerful. So I was like, okay. And I made not one penny, by the way.
Wow.
It was powerful experience, but my pockets were empty, right? And so I was like, okay, well, I'm leaving. I'm going to the UK anyway. So I'll just build life over there. And then someone hit me up and they were like, you're coming back to do that again. And I'm like, no, that was a one-off. And now I'm in year 6. This year would be year 6. I've done it every year. So I fly home to attend. And what people appreciate is vulnerability and authenticity, right?
Yes.
And so when the pandemic came, I was like, oh my gosh, it was my 5th year anniversary. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Wow.
And someone said, well, why not have it on Zoom? And I was like, it's not gonna be the same. And I had 100. So I said, okay, I'll open up 75 spaces. That sold out. 100 spaces. They went. I had 129 women in the virtual space for 9 hours.
What?
9 hours. And people were like, oh my God, that was the most powerful. And what I did, I had a mega summit. So I had 7 speakers. And what some women said to me, what they appreciated was that when they were overcome with emotion, that they could turn their cameras off and have their moment and then
Wow.
click back in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow. So the pandemic has been a blessing from in
Yeah.
many ways. And I'm hoping that in November of this year, I can fly home for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had women from all over the world attend. So I'm like, how do
Yeah.
I balance that for 2021? Because of
Yeah.
course, Zoom makes things so much more accessible.
Yeah.
But I used to walk small and think, even out here, I was like, I could never be a success in the UK because I don't know anyone. And this is
Yeah.
just a big country. And I'm from such a tiny, like Bermuda's literally like this small. And I realized that in the 4 years I've been here, that I was
Mm.
watering. See, there's a child about to interrupt us after I'm having a Zoom interview, darling.
This is nice.
Sorry. Parenthood, hey, it's real.
Like,
But
I'm loving it.
I was watering myself down
Mm.
and thinking that I could never be, and I say this humbly, I could never be big or impactful in the UK. And
Wow.
I was like, no, that's not who you're destined to be. And
No.
I have to pull back again into
Yeah.
connect the program with it. The
Mm.
program has revitalized me.
That's
So
great.
I'm just so excited because it's like, if you can, when you want to do something, whatever it is, no
Mm.
matter who you are, if you're
Mm.
good at what you do,
Yeah.
you can do it well regardless of where you are. And I was thinking
Yes.
I could only be good in Bermuda. And so
Wow.
my oyster, my
Mm-hmm.
gray, cloudy oyster, fantastic because it rains all the time, is here and then hopefully beyond. So
That is so, you know what, that is so cool. Like, please totally own that. It is here and beyond. Like, we hope for things, but you're doing the work. I am a big believer that when people do all that they know to do and all that they're capable of doing, success is inevitable. I think it's impossible to put in all of the effort that you can and use all the resources that you can, follow through on your intentions that you can, and for there still to be failure. There's only lessons learned in how to do it that comes from there.
and definitely being me, like I mean, it's so funny because like you see me in a t-shirt and I was like, should I dress up? And I was like, no, I'm gonna be me. Now I
I'm
know
in a
how to
hoodie.
dress
I'm in a
up
hoodie and I've got
and
my
all,
hair
but
wrapped
that's the
up.
thing. I think we as women sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. We're trying to
Yeah.
compare ourselves to others when
Mm,
really people appreciate a real and authentic person, regardless
yeah.
of what differences we have. The
Mm,
commonality is authenticity. So for me,
yeah.
like you got your head, I appreciate that. I love, and if you would have been all dressed up and in a three-piece suit, I would still be who I am
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
realize being someone else just doesn't
Mm,
work for me. I can't be anyone else but me.
yeah.
And I'm not,
Yes.
and I have to say, and I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm okay with it.
That's cool. That is solid. Like, that's solid knowledge right there. I can't do anything but be me, and I'm not everyone's cup of tea. You're not here to just dish up for everyone. But you know what? I promise you, you are the cup of tea for a lot of people, though. Not everyone, but definitely loads of people are
I
gonna be
hope so.
loving this. So thank you so much. So I'll just like to wrap up with thinking, like, we've got 8 weeks left. Can you imagine we've already got only 8 weeks left in this program? So what would like success on the program right now, considering all these big things you've already like got going? What else is it that you feel like you need to get from this program for you to be able to put a big tick that I done it?
It's so much for me to learn. I've always been a hustler, and now I'm
Mm,
ready to formalize my business practices in the
okay.
way that my effort deserves. And so,
Mm,
like today, we had on profitability and growth and
yeah.
that. So those business elements
Mm,
are the part when I can then say, you know what? Oh, I learned how to do projections because of what I learned on the course. Those are the
yeah.
successes that I'm looking for,
Yeah.
how to
Okay.
formalize the business side of things.
Yeah, it's so important. I think people can shy away from that because it seems like it's scary numbers and thinking, oh, you don't grow a business by just looking at the numbers. You do it by getting more clients and by doing more work. But sometimes doing more at the wrong rate isn't going to help you. And if you're not getting the right type of clients, it ain't going to help. So I think it's so cool that you know exactly what you're doing this for. You know what else there is to gain. you're so clear in your direction, and I just love it. I just love how clear you are and how focused you are and driven. It makes me feel excited to see the things you're gonna do. So
Oh, thank
thank you so much for your time today, Carla.
and
And
thank you for having me. I'm absolutely honored. Thank you.
you take care.
You too.